Hello, and thanks for joining me again at the Law Office of Don Dennis, where our goal is to help your business transactions and everyday interactions remain profitable. Just the other day, I just did a video on Lizzo and this lawsuit that was filed against her. And it seems like, as you know, with most lawsuits and crisis situations, this continues to develop and new details come up. Just this morning, Lizzo issued a statement. The people or plaintiffs that are bringing the lawsuit were on television giving their response to her statement and also sharing their feelings on the lawsuit. And again, everything that they put in that lawsuit, as I discussed in the last video, are allegations, meaning that they have to be proven true. And so therefore, they're just their statements. Look, before we go any further, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. I hope wherever you are in the country, you're having a great summer. My wife and I are having a great summer. We're enjoying this beautiful California sunny weather, and I hope that you're able to enjoy the weather and everything going on where you're at. But back to our story. The great or unfortunate thing about this is that we can use this as a learning tool to understand another area that is extremely important with your business: crisis communication. How do you respond in a crisis? Knowing what to react to and what to respond to. There are different types of crises. There is an exploding one, such as a fire, such as an earthquake, such as a building collapse, something that needs an immediate reaction, immediate response. And then there are unfolding crises, such as those that develop over time, like a lawsuit. So why are we making this post? We just talked about Lizzo. Well, Lizzo decided to make a post on Instagram in which she wanted to address some of the things that were said in that lawsuit. And I want to share that with you so we can take a look at that, examine it, and see what we can learn from that. So let's see here. You take a look at the screen. Let's see what Lizzo had to say. Lizzo stated, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations." Okay, so why are you responding now? Let's keep going. "But these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional." Let's keep reading to the second page of the post. All right. She continues on and says, "As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team." Okay, let's go to the next page. "I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. All right. And as we get to the last page of the post, I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to me up during this difficult time. So if you go to her Instagram page, you can see the post that was just read to you and, everything and her thoughts on the matter. So this is important because we're talking about how you deal with crises as a business owner, and they are going to come. And what we want to ensure during a crisis is effective communication. Effective communication means, first and foremost, delegating who will be responsible and in charge of communication. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be your attorney? Is it going to be your public relations company? Because you cannot be short-sighted and think that you're going to make a statement and there's not going to be a response. And if you are not prepared for these responses, if you have not taken into account how these responses might be used in this lawsuit or in this matter, or how it will be perceived around the world when you have international notoriety, you are setting yourself up for a big problem and for potential failure as things are interpreted, misinterpreted, reinterpreted, and reposted as parts of what you said are cut and pasted all over the place. It does not necessarily bode well. In addition, what you have to remember is that since she is in a lawsuit, everything that she says is going to be extremely scrutinized and put on display and on a television if this makes it to trial in the court, for the judge to look at, for the jurors to look at, and for you to have to look at all the words that you've said throughout this process. So in this moment, the first thing that needs to be done is exercise patience and take a breath to determine what should and should not be responded to. So let's delve a little bit deeper into the exact words that she put in her Instagram post. These are false allegations. Okay. This is unbelievable. It's too outrageous. People admitted that their behavior was inappropriate and unprofessional. And it was never my intention to make someone feel uncomfortable. She's not the villain. She takes the respect she deserves and women deserve seriously. Okay, you've said that these are false allegations. There's a process called discovery. Discovery means all the evidence that you have against someone and that they have against you, you need to share with them. Videos, text messages, emails, letters, documents, all of that needs to be exchanged in advance of the trial. So if you've said everything that they put in that lawsuit, which was 44 pages, are false allegations, and they produce evidence showing that you're wrong, showing that they can prove what they're saying happened to them, how is that going to bode for you? How is it going to be when you're sitting on a witness stand during cross-examination and they say, Lizzo or Melissa, which is her real name, or Miss Jefferson, you stated that these were false allegations and that you didn't do this. You didn't racially discriminate against them. You didn't take them here and force them to do sexual acts. You didn't hold a person against their will. You didn't attempt to assault them by balling up your fist, cursing at them, moving towards them, and having to be restrained by security. How is that going to look if they produce witnesses that are not in the trial and they testify that, yes, that happened? And if they testify, it's going to make her look as an unbelievable witness in her defense of this. And it's not going to look well. How is it going to look if they produce other evidence or other people come forward and testify? As you can see in the media, there are other people that have worked with Lizzo now stepping forward saying, yes, I didn't like the way I was treated. Yes, I do believe that she disrespects people. So if these witnesses are called to testify at trial to substantiate her pattern of behavior, that the plaintiffs are claiming she engages in, that is not going to bode well. That is going to be very disfavorable on her position of trying to defend herself. This, if in fact she's not telling the truth, is perfect ammunition for the plaintiffs, because we have no idea before the trial how good of a case they have. We don't know what type of evidence they have. But for her to make all of these statements, if they do have even a modicum of evidence, just further bolsters their case. It gives credibility to them. It says, hey, the plaintiffs and their attorney should go on. They were on CNN, I believe. They should go on NBC, ABC, CBS, all the other news outlets and tell their story. Why? Because it gets a reaction out of Lizzo. And Lizzo is the big name. And now we can get her to come down and react, doing something she says she normally doesn't do. And we know that we've got her ire, we've got her reacting, and this looks good for ratings. It looks good for TV. What would you do if you were an attorney and you heard these statements and you represent the plaintiffs in this, and you found out and you know for a fact you have great evidence to show that Lizzo is not being completely truthful, that you can dispute all of these statements in this Instagram post? Well, for opening statement, you would talk about, you have evidence that's going to show Lizzo makes these posts. However, she was not being truthful. And you might show these posts right up on the television while you're doing your opening statement. And then when you cross-examine Lizzo, you're going to ask her about these Instagram statements. Lizzo, you said this was a false allegation. However, how do you justify this other evidence that we presented? And you make her get on the stand and sweat. What would be her response? I don't recall. I'm not certain. I don't remember. But nevertheless, even if that is your response, if you have so many other people testifying as to what happened, it still makes you look unbelievable to the judge and the jury. And these are 12 people that have to make a decision as to who is telling the truth. And if they constantly hear information that disputes these statements that you went out and made, and you did not have to make these statements, they're going to closely look at you when they're making their decision in the deliberation room. So what my goal is to explain that when you're in the midst of a crisis, you have to be careful about every single word that you say, everything that comes out from your team, from your company, and how you're dealing with it, because it will be played and replayed multiple times. Again, if you have not hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You're getting information and you're getting a perspective that you're not picking up elsewhere in terms of how to look at this lawsuit, and also how to manage your own daily affairs so that you can avoid some of these mistakes, because this is common human reaction. If you feel you're being unjustly targeted, if you feel that people are making false allegations, why not immediately respond? Why not stand up and defend yourself? However, what you have to understand is that this is a legal process. This is not an argument out on the street. This is not an argument in a boardroom, but this is something that has implications based on everything that you say going forward. And as the police say, can or will be used against you in a court of law. And that's what we're dealing with here. So again, I encourage you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, pay close attention, and make note of the points that I've shared with you so you know how to manage your affairs to stay profitable. Have a great day.